Welcome back to the Better Late Than Never Club. I'm Beck.
And I'm Frost.
And I'm Rachel.
And tonight, with our very special guest Rachel, we are watching our fourth Oscar-nominated Best Picture movie, Marty Supreme.
Now, we thought we'd bring Rachel along because she's a long-time listener, big-time fan, first-time podcaster.
Yeah, I'm not terrified at all. This is great.
And none of us have seen Marty Supreme, so it works well, I think. I hope.
So I know only one thing about Marty Supreme. I'm pretty sure it's about table tennis.
I think you're correct.
We're done. That's it. I'm out.
And that is about the extent that I know of it as well. What about you? Any preconceptions?
Not really. I have 2 kids. I've got no time for any of this, so it's
Very
great.
fair.
Have you seen any of the trailers or anything?
I think I've seen like a snippet of a trailer. Mm-hmm. I think Gwyneth Paltrow in it?
Correct.
Oh.
She's one of the 2 people that I wrote down because there is other people in it, but Timothy Chalamet and Gwyneth Paltrow are like the 2 big names.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's talk some stats real quick, get them out of the way. Our genre, sports, comedy, drama.
And the only other sports film we've done, I think, was Moneyball, which I wasn't the biggest fan of.
It was fine. It was good.
It was fine. But sports comedy might go okay.
Maybe.
Look, I mean, you've got your traditional, very, silly sports comedies, like Dodgeball and stuff.
True.
So I'm kind of hoping this is a little less silly, but I do love those films as well.
Yeah, well, because it's got the addition of drama. It's like, it's probably not going to be like slapstick comedy. It'll just have like maybe funny dialogue.
We're talking maybe a Taika Waititi kind of comedy.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. I mean, Timothy Chalamet has some like comedy background. Like as a teenager, he was doing like funny YouTube videos for like school and stuff. Like he's got the comedy in him. He was good on SNL. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
So the film is pretty long, which seems to be the thing for Best Picture nominations this year. It's 2.5 hours long, so 150 minutes.
And that's long for a comedy film.
True.
Yeah.
But not for a drama, so maybe, it evens out. It's not the 2 hours 45 of one battle after another, dear Lord. That was a long film.
Yeah. I feel like it's like the longer the film, the more opportunity to get, your best actor because you've got more lines.
That's true.
Yeah.
You do have more room to maneuver, as it will be.
I'll allow this. This is clever thinking. Go for a 5-hour film. What was that film the other day? Wolves Eat Us.
Dancing with Wolves
Dancing
is
with
really
Wolves.
long. I haven't seen it, but it's like 4 or 5 hours long. It's crazy. Some stats. This was a success in the box office. So its total gross is 148.9 million, very specific. That's worldwide.
You love to hear it.
Yeah.
And its budget was like 60 to 70 mil, which is honestly, the budget of these films these days is so high. I think that's pretty standard, but it still boggles the mind that they spend that much to make one movie.
I mean, it costs a lot of money to make a movie, right? You've got high production teams, you've got high gear, there's safety involved, and everybody charges a premium.
Which is very true. It's a little like the wedding industry, I guess, in that sense. But then you've got, your low cost ones like there's an Australian one, I think it's called Wormwood, and they spent like $20,000 or $30,000 and filmed it in a weekend.
Yeah.
And honestly, some of those films, they end up being so good because they're using kind of alternate.
They're not using
strategies.
big budget
Yeah.
techniques.
Yeah.
So $70 million for this film.
Yeah, 60 to 70 million. I'm always such a nosy Nelly. I want to know how much everyone got paid. Like, I want to know how much of that 60, 70 mil went to Timothy Chalamet and Gwyneth Paltrow. You know what I mean?
Well, Gwyneth Paltrow was asking for at least 20 million. So there's like a 30-year budget right there.
You reckon she asks for as much as Leo DiCaprio?
Oh, yeah. I reckon she's probably not. Who knows? The lady's amazing.
Has the app come out yet? Oh, yeah, because we talked about Leo DiCaprio getting, he has like a standard 25 million that he like every film now.
That's his fee.
That's his standard.
Gee.
Which honestly, part of me is like, it could probably be higher. Like there's other actors. I think it was Harrison Ford. I don't know the exact number, but to come back to do the Indiana Jones, like the more recent one that came out, like, I don't know, it was probably like 5 years ago now, but it was like, much after all of the others, he was very kind of out and loud about the fact that he came back and he was like, they paid me a lot of money.
I mean, to use our one allowed swear word for the podcast, I believe that was his fuck you money. Like,
Yeah.
he'll only come back. He doesn't want to come back.
Right.
So he was given an astronomical figure.
And if they're willing to pay it,
Then
they pay it.
Then he's going to come back. And
Yeah,
he did.
see, I'd argue it's hazard money because, one bad fall and that poor gut man is breaking a bone. And
That's true.
That's
yeah.
true.
That is very true.
I
You
think-
get to imagine it was like,
I think his fee was like 70 or 80 million
it was
dollars.
so much money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I wish I could work and be like, oh, my fee today for this particular job is like $70 million.
Yeah.
So all we needed to do was get into acting in like the 70s, 80s and be good at it. So
Yeah, just be like
You know,
phenomenally lucky or a Nepo baby.
yeah, never. Oh, see, now my parents have just let me down. That's what I'm hearing.
yeah,
That's what I say all the time. Don't listen to this, mum and dad. You don't anyway, so it's fine.
My parents don't know what a podcast is.
Every time I think we see your parents, your mum is like, "Oh, so what's your podcast again? I really want to listen to it."
Tell me how to do it. And I'm like, please. It's on every platform. Okay. So something I didn't know is this is actually an A24 film, which it's so big. I almost didn't expect that because A24 is like, they do a lot of the indie.
Yeah, they're not a huge studio.
Subversive films.
Well, they're a big studio, but they're not a big
They
budget
are,
studio.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they are getting bigger. Like they started really indie and they did Everything Everywhere All at Once, which was their highest grossing film until this one.
Oh,
This
wow.
one has
Really?
surpassed it. Only by like less than 10 million. So they're pretty close. But yeah, this is now A24's most successful film.
Wow. How
so
much
they're-
did it gross?
This one, I told you already. Play 148.9 million.
Damn.
Because it was a really random specific amount.
Very specific.
Yeah, you
very
started
specific.
saying numbers. My brain went, "Doo."
Yeah, fair enough. And I guess not surprising at all, it has 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. So pretty well liked.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, good film.
Yeah.
Which, again, I don't know why I'm surprised when I say that every time because these are all nominated for Best Picture. So obviously people liked these films. There's
Yeah.
a reason why they're nominated.
Yeah, that's true. But you've also got to remember you've got years like, and I was joking about this the other day, that Shakespeare in Love won. And look, I enjoyed that film. That is a fun film. Oscar worthy though. There are serious questions
Yeah.
around that.
Well, we talked about this a little bit in the intro episode for this series.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it was like a bit of a controversy. Because like it was pretty much campaigned for
Yeah.
by, I think it was the Weinstein Company, which adds an extra layer of ick to the factor of campaigning for that film, which is unfortunate because it is. I think it's a fun film. That's with Leo DiCaprio, right?
No, that's Ralph Fiennes
What am I
and
thinking of?
Gwyneth
Romeo and
Paltrow.
Juliet? Oh, that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah, you're thinking
Another
Romeo-
Shakespeare entity. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know anything about Shakespeare in Love. Actually, I'm gonna.
What I'm hearing is there's going to be an episode now on Shakespeare in Love, and
I think it
I'm
must have to be. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
100%
Ralph
behind
Fiennes.
yeah.
He's cool.
And we have seen Saving Private Ryan, which is what was meant to win that year.
Well, that's what everyone says.
Yeah.
But anyway, look, I think it's interesting because some films really give Oscar energy, right? Like they're like, okay, it's a serious topic. They've tackled like a social issue and it's really well made. And so those films often win, I feel like. And that's why I feel like One Battle After Another might win.
Yeah.
From what we've watched so far. We've only watched 3.
It's very much in that bell curve of social
They're
issues.
hitting
and
a lot of like, this is topical and it's got Leo. And it's like, yeah, I loved Sinners though. Anyway, I'm getting made
we've wandered off into the garden path
I know,
a little bit. Do you want
sorry.
to bring us back to the other nominations that Marty Supreme got?
Yeah, well, let me just quickly, we've touched on Timothée Chalamet and Gwyneth Paltrow, but real quickly on Timothy, or Timothée, if you're really, because I think that's how you meant to say it, because he's French or whatever.
Yeah, but we're in Australia.
Yeah.
Timothy.
Timmy.
He has already won a small bouquet of different awards from like the Golden Globes and like the actor awards, AACTA, whatever. He has won like the Best Actor award or the equivalent of that in like 4 or 5 different places. So like
For this film?
yeah, for
Wow.
this
Oh.
role. So he's semi-primed, I would argue, to win the Best Actor. And he is nominated for Best Actor in this for the Oscars. So it will be interesting if, like, he kind of sweeps the category across the whole awards season or if someone else wins this. Because this is, like, the Oscars is, like, the big one, right? Like, the Golden Globes is kind of the
warm-up.
next biggest, almost. I mean, I'm sure everyone has different opinions on what counts, but...
Yeah, it is always interesting when you have the best actor who wins in all of the other awards, but then you get to the Oscars and they don't win, and you're sitting
Right.
there going, but why didn't the other guys?
Because it's rigged, Rachel.
Well,
What? Conspiracy and rigged?
Yeah.
Wouldn't in Hollywood? Never.
That's the thing I don't really get about the Oscars, because obviously there is like the nominations and the eventual awards are committee based. So it's like fellow actors, I assume, and like producers, directors. I don't know exactly who. I don't know if it's public.
I don't think so. I think you have to be a member of the guild.
Yeah, which sounds so secret.
The Lollipop Guild.
Secret
All I can think about when anybody says the guild.
For sure. Or like the Guild with Felicia Day on YouTube. Did you guys ever watch that?
I didn't, but I know of it.
Such a throwback. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know exactly how it works, but it's so political. And I do wonder how much of it is like, oh, people are going to be angry if we don't vote for XYZ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's going to be more, like they go for like the least backlash option each time. You know what I mean? Sometimes it feels a little bit like that, but I don't know.
Gift baskets with casually like $10,000 just slipped in there under the...
Trying to make people feel better for not...
Under the strawberries? I don't know. What do you put in those gift baskets?
Probably Ozempic. I don't know.
I mean, that was the joke, I think.
Yeah.
Like either the last Oscars or the one before was literally, I think that was one of the hosts' jokes, was everyone was getting Ozempic in their baskets anyway. So let's talk about how this film is nominated. So this has 9 nominations, the same as Frankenstein. Mm. Obviously, Best Picture and Leading Actor. Also nominated for casting.
Oh, yeah.
Which, again, new category, so hard to really judge on, like, is it worth it? I guess we'll see. You know, I feel like with a new category, it's really hard to assess whether something should have been nominated or not. Like, if something's a good movie, the casting, I guess, should probably be nominated because, like, it wouldn't be a good movie without the cast.
Yeah, I can't imagine you can have a best film with a bad cast.
Right.
Or a badly cast film.
Although, Frankenstein didn't get nominated for Best Cast.
Yeah, but that's because, I mean... It was sort of middle of the road, right? You just want some people who look kind of English. And there you go.
Yes. Anyway, it's really, I don't know. I think it'll take like 5 to 10 years of that category being a thing to really be like, okay, what are we really nominating this category for? Is it the best actors or is it like niche casting, like really specific roles that get like the perfect person? I don't know.
Yeah, you'd have to think there'd be a bunch of different conditions around that because it's not just one person. You're talking about the entire cast of the film. So it's getting the right actors in the right roles who all bounce correctly or have the right chemistry.
True. Chemistry is super important, honestly, because even if you have like 2 individually talented actors, if they don't work well with each other, which is I think people are worrying about with Wuthering Heights.
Oh, look, there's a lot of controversy around that.
Yeah, for sure. I've mentioned this now 2 episodes in a row, and I think it's taking up some brain space for me. But so I guess we'll see. It's also nominated for cinematography, which is all of them so far have been. Yeah. Makes sense. And costume design, which I think that's interesting.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
Because this film doesn't strike me as something where costume design is like a super front forward thing. Like, I don't know. I guess I haven't seen it yet, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah, you generally think period dramas kind of normally...
Like Sinners was so good with the costuming. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. Director, of course.
Yeah. Best film.
Almost
Director.
all of them.
That's good.
Film editing. Could be good for maybe there's some high stakes table tennis scenes.
I mean, I can see that. Sports will lend itself to that kind of genre.
Yeah, lots of quick shots and stuff sometimes and getting that.
True.
High energy.
Yeah, high energy up.
Almost more than you would argue maybe for Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Like if you need action shots. Production design kind of falls into the same category as costume design for me. I'm like, I'll be interested to see what the sets are like and how much that impacts.
I mean, how much can you dress up a table tennis table? Right? Like it's,
yeah, are they like...
Well, okay, this film is... this is a slight spoiler. I'm sure we'll find out immediately. It's something I read on like the very top. I couldn't avoid it. It's set in the 50s.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So, 1950 table tennis tables...
Yeah.
Clearly
that
very
will
different.
mean that they have to do like costuming and
there is
set design for that.
I should have. That is something that will impact it because you do have to try and make sure that there is no evidence of modernity in the shot, which is like an effort.
Like somebody takes a phone call on their iPhone, like
yeah, a watch that was made a decade later or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And the last nomination is in original screenplay. So
you know how I love an original screenplay.
Apparently, we found out recently that Frosty's really into original screenplays.
It's my favorite Oscars genre.
Well, because adapted, it's like you're just
rehashing old work.
Well, I mean, but then you think about as you can. Abby has been watching A Christmas Carol, and so we've watched the Muppets version, and we recently watched the one with I think Jim Carrey does the voice. And so they're completely
the animated one.
Yeah, the animated one. So they're completely different films. based on the same story.
Charles Dickens.
Yeah, and I was reading the Wikipedia page, because who doesn't love a good wiki read? And one of the comments was the adaptations are now more well-known than the original novella, to the point where people don't realise there's scenes missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
I reckon the one, actually, maybe the Muppet one might be the most well known because it kind of spans generations. You know what I mean?
So good.
It's the only one I can think of. That's got Michael Caine in it, right?
Correct. He's the only human.
Yeah. So to me,
Is he?
He's the only well-known actor, but there's a couple of humans in it, because it's a mix of human and, you know, Kermit.
I just picture him surrounded by Muppets.
Yeah, there are a lot of Muppets in that.
that's the only version of
The
Christmas Carol that comes to mind. for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've seen other ones, but that's pièce de résistance
Yep.
up there.
It's pretty good. That's a great Christmas movie. Yeah. Anyway, not Christmas time. It is February. That is all I have, really, because all I know about this movie is that it's about table tennis. I have no other preconceptions other than Timothée Chalamet does a good job. That's all I've heard.
Yeah.
And that's obviously evidenced by the awards he's already received. And I'm intrigued to see how his performance matches up to, like, Michael B. Jordan, who I think so far has been my favourite Best Actor performance of the noms so far. But I don't know.
I mean, this might be standout, right?
This
Because
might
Michael B.
be.
Jordan had his challenges.
I mean,
Leonardo DiCaprio's was good, but if this is standout above both of those, then it's a clear winner.
I mean, Timothée Chalamet has certainly, I mean, he's only 30. He has made his mark pretty significantly with the movies he's done so far. Like, he is, it feels like he's kind of gunning to be the Leonardo DiCaprio of his era.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
He does the serious movies. He did, like, Call Me By Your Name, which is, like, a little bit like...
Art House.
It's a little queer betting because neither of the male leads were gay. But
Yeah, I was trying to find a way to word that where it's like he's doing something that's a little bit like, it's not subversive really, but
you know, he's doing a lot of those, the Oscar baiting films, like the...
a little, yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah. It's a little bit Oscar baity. Obviously, that's a little bit of a dirty word in terms of like, you don't want to like accuse a film of necessarily like just being Oscar, but that's how it kind of feels a little bit.
The thing I saw him most recently, and I think was Wonka, which I really enjoyed him in. That was a good film.
Honestly, yeah, I enjoyed it too. Have you seen that?
I have not gotten around to that one yet. Is he good?
It's worth it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's like it's the Willy Wonka origin story type vibe, and it's a musical, and
And it's lovely. It's just so heartwarming.
It's heartwarming. It's a bit camp, which is good because that's kind of the Wonka energy, right? So it kind of fits in perfectly.
Gene Wilder set that all up
Exactly.
years ago, and
And I think the one thing about Timothée Chalamet that I don't know how much this will come across in this movie, although it does have comedy listed as one of the genres, so it might, is that he doesn't take himself too seriously. Like he's willing to be silly and dumb and a bit like, you know what I mean? Like he's not like super serious. I am a serious actor and I must only be presented in one certain way.
Wasn't it Timothée Chalamet who was the lead in Dune?
Yeah. I was going to say the only films I've seen him in are the Dune films and Little Women, I think.
He played one of the love interests,
Yeah.
right? I haven't seen any of them.
And was he very serious in both of those roles?
Yeah. I mean, Little Women, it's a serious film.
Because I haven't seen
But
either of them.
It has its lighthearted moment.
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying he can't be serious, but what I'm saying is he has range. Like, he's not married to the idea of only being perceived as serious, which is, I think some people fall into that category or that trap a little bit of like, I am serious and I will only be serious and, you know.
Actually, having said that, I did see him in The French Dispatch, and that's a bit of a funny film because that's Wes Anderson, and he's very good in that.
I've heard good things about that film. One of our other podcast listeners is a big fan of The French Dispatch. Shout out to Alex.
Yeah. Well, I think we've said enough. This is probably our longest intro so far because I do be yapping.
We've got a whole guest.
I'm so sorry.
No apologies needed. Let's dive into watching Marty Supreme.
First, we find ourselves in 1950s New York City, where young Marty Bowser dreams of becoming a world-famous table tennis player. Stuck working in his uncle's shoe store, Marty must beg, steal, borrow and barter to produce the funds to make it to London to compete in the British Open. After an upsetting defeat in the finals against Japanese star Endo, Marty begins to spiral. Returning to New York, he is confronted with a pregnant lover who claims she bears his child and has an ill-fated stay in a rundown hotel room. Using his hustling prowess, Marty continues to try and raise funds to attend the World Championship in Tokyo to redeem himself. When scheme after scheme ends in disaster, Marty must submit himself to groveling at the hands of Milton Rockwell, who finally agrees to take Marty with him. Too late to be registered for the World Championship, Marty instead demands a rematch with Endo, which he narrowly wins. Arriving home in New York, Marty meets his newborn son, his reputation now somewhat repaired. here's some deeper thoughts on the matter.
That was kind of an abrupt ending.
Yeah, it did feel very cut short.
Yeah.
Shocked. I'm shocked because I thought it was going to go from that hospital scene onto another con.
Right?
That's what I expected.
Yeah. I did not expect that to be the ending, but I mean, it was a 2.5 hour film, so I guess they had to end it somewhere.
That's true. That is true. They had to end it eventually. It did feel like the movie just kept going a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, for
It was
sure.
pretty long. Is this a biopic? Is this based in real?
I don't think so because it's an original screenplay, so that's generally not a biopic, right? Let me just double check.
Because original screenplays can be about people.
I didn't
still.
look in because usually when I do my research, right, in the preamble, it would mention this being based on a real person, and I didn't see anything. But apparently, okay, this is based on Google's related searches, so take as many grains of salt as you require. It says, yes, Marty Supreme, Marty Mauser in the film, is a fictionalized character inspired by the real-life legendary American table tennis hustler and champion Marty Reisman, whose life and memoir, The Money Player, inspired the Josh Safdie film. So it draws heavily from his flamboyant personality, hustling skills, and impact on the sport. So it's an homage to him, not a strict biopic, if you will.
Okay.
So an original screenplay based on a real life of a hustling tennis table champion.
I guess so. But yeah, that's honestly, it was a lot more intense than I anticipated.
I expected a lot more comedy.
Interesting.
From the comedy side of things.
Sure.
Because I don't feel like I watched a comedy. I feel like I just watched 2.5 hours of stress.
That's true. I've never been so invested in table tennis in my life.
That is fair. Look, there was like a little bit of comedy more so at the beginning, right? Where he's like kind of hustling and the stakes are relatively low and he's doing his like whatever, his con man stuff. But then it really dropped off comedy wise when like there started to be real violence and real stakes for people's lives.
Think about basically the first con that they pulled was when they went to try and hustle the people at the bowling alley, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
That literally ended with them setting fire to a gas station and nearly killing a bunch of people.
True.
That is very true,
There
yeah.
was not a lot to laugh at. That was in the first half hour of the film, and it then got more stressful.
That's very fair.
This sounds silly, but do you know what it actually reminds me a little bit of? And not because I watched this movie recently, but Mulan. You know how when you watch that film, the first half, it's a musical, it's fun, it's lighthearted. Then you get to the town and the mood completely shifts. And there's not a single song like
From then on, basically.
from then on. Like it completely changes the film. Right? Yeah.
I've never cognitively explored the film like that because all I do is let's get down to business.
And defeat the Huns, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, you're totally right. Like, it does take a very much a tonal shift at that point when, like, she, as in Rachel in the film, not you, Rachel, in real life.
No, not me.
In the film, played by Odessa, she arrives as, like, this battered woman. It's a very serious moment. And it's like, okay, things are serious. There are real victims here. We need to buckle up and get serious about it. And from then on, there is basically no moment of levity aside from like some kind of like half-hearted, this is intense moments of laughter. But even then, it's not that lighthearted.
Yeah, I would describe the whole thing as pretty stressful. I really felt hard to enjoy the scenes where everybody was just yelling over the top of each other. I'm like, can't you just be polite? Can't you just be nice to each other? We're here for a good time.
I still can't get over the bathtub scene.
Oh my God.
Like that just felt so out of the blue.
That was really where the shift began because it was such a hard pivot between like we are tee-hee-ha-haing over him getting a hotel room with his friend, aka Tyler the Creator, the taxi driver, and suddenly he's fallen through the floor and squashed this old man and a dog, and it's like, oh my God, that's not what we were tee-hee-ha-haing about.
No.
It's also not like he didn't engineer that con, right?
Right.
No.
He was told not to use the shower, which also like that whole situation was weird.
Yeah.
But he used the shower. The bath falls through the floor. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to understand.
I guess it was water damage. That's the implication, right? And like any additional stress. I don't know. I mean, like we're making a lot of leaps here, but I enjoyed it. I think it was very well acted.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly impressive for Timothée Chalamet to keep up this he maintained a level of, he is a con man that we're frustrated with, but also we're somewhat rooting for him.
Because I think you said during the film, you said something like he's come from nothing, he's worked or conned his way to get everything that he's got, and he is actually good at table tennis. Like he does have that going for him, but he's not likable, but we still want to see him succeed in like that underdog way.
Yeah.
Like he's so narcissistic, it's irritating, but then he's so charming, and I'm like, what is happening?
So obnoxious, but pretty charming, I guess.
It is a little bit of that dichotomy within a character that makes it hard to decide whether we want them to succeed or fail ultimately.
Yeah.
I feel like we're kind of, cucked at the end of the movie of like, well, what, is he successful? Does he go on to be a table tennis champion? The implication is probably because he wins against the current champion, right? Like
I mean, he beat the world champion at the ICC in London, but then he lost to Enko?
Endo.
Then he lost to Endo.
The world champion hasn't happened yet in Japan because that was going to happen after this quote unquote fake match.
Right. So he then beats in one game. One game is not a tournament game, right? Like it's whatever. So it's not like indicative. And if the table tennis commission doesn't want him to play, they're not going to let him play because that's their prerogative.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I like the fact that he didn't get to play again. Like that they kept the ban, there because I was like, I almost don't want you to get away with this.
True.
Yeah.
It's definitely very underhanded.
It is. What this film reminded me most of was the Leonardo DiCaprio film Catch Me If You Can, which is
that's what did you hear me say that?
No.
Okay, so earlier, this might have been where we were taking a break for popcorn or drinks, but I said that the director maybe it was a reviewer, said that this film gave them the energy of Uncut Gems, which is
right. So you haven't said it on the podcast.
No.
So it didn't happen.
Okay, it didn't happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me say it here for the first time. So Josh Safdie is our director, and he directed a few films. Probably Uncut Gems is his most famous one. I haven't seen it, but that's probably like it was like 5-6 years ago. It was his most famous directing work. And a reviewer said that this film was like Uncut Gems crossed with Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So it definitely, I fully agree and see where you're coming from in terms of the con man element coming through in this film.
Yeah. And like the hustle and the stress of the con. But I mean, this had all of the familial yelling and the family fights and everyone just trying to yell to get their opinion heard. I'm just like, just take a turns, take a number, stop yelling. I'm not okay with this. I'm not about it. Oh, definitely sapped the enjoyment out of it for me a little.
I mean, it's an interesting thing, right? Because, like, I also don't like conflict, but I also appreciate the realism in a family conflict as depicted on this film. So the scene where Marty is being arrested on his uncle's word, right?
Sal.
Sure. Yeah. And so he is technically guilty of taking money from his uncle that he considered owed. So there's this, like, inherent disagreement of like what is meant to happen here. Like he's owed, so he can take the money. The uncle's like, no, you robbed me, yada yada. He's trying to teach him a lesson. He's trying to get him off this stupid ping pong line and get him back to the shoe store kind of vibe, right? And like that whole scenario, it's impressively realistic in terms of how family disagreements can go. Of like, I love you, but I'm trying to teach you a lesson here of how serious this is.
But it's it's interesting too because they were all clearly very manipulative. Like the mother
for sure,
calling or getting her friend to call to be like, she's sick, you've got to come take her to the hospital. And then the uncle being manipulative, being like, well, you stole, but also he should have given him the money, which is why he had to. And you're like, okay, so clearly it runs in the family.
And like the uncle, the reason he didn't get the money is because he doesn't want to go to this tournament so that he can have him work in his shoe store. Yeah. It's like everyone in the film is bad and wrong.
Yeah.
And nobody is good.
I mean, look, family is complicated. And manipulation is manipulation, but often has a reason behind it, either like care or worry or whatever. And I'm not saying that's worth it. I'm just saying like there is often a reason behind those emotions and those tactics, right? So it's very...
still don't have to like it.
No, for sure. Ideally, everyone communicates openly and honestly and everything goes fine. But that does not a good movie make, generally speaking.
It would be much more like, the movie would be like, And Marty Supreme was supported by his family. He went to London and he won because he felt loved and supported.
Yeah, no, that doesn't generally happen.
Yeah.
movie.
This was not a Disney feel-good American family propaganda film.
White picket fence,
Yeah.
Speaking of things that we don't feel good about, at the lead up in our little intro, we didn't talk about the director noms. Now, you have mentioned the director.
Well, so the director, it is nominated for Best Director. I did accidentally forget to talk about the director in the preamble. So Josh Safdie is the director. He did Uncut Gems, which I haven't seen, and he has done a handful of other films, but honestly, none that I recognize other than Uncut Gems. And Uncut Gems I mostly recognize from the meme, which was that one woman saying, Uncut Gems. So...
Okay, well, I don't know the name.
No,
I have no
I
context.
knew that would fall flat, so it's fine. The point is, he doesn't have like this super expansive filmography. If I was to read through his directing list, it's like The Pleasure of Being Robbed, Daddy Longlegs, Lenny Cook.
He did Daddy Longlegs? That's a horror film with Nicolas Cage.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
No, that's a new one, which is just called Longlegs.
It's called Longlegs. No,
okay.
you're right.
This is one from 2009 called Daddy Longlegs.
Very different film.
He did Lenny Cook, Heaven Knows What, Good Time, and then Uncut Gems is 2019, which is arguably his most known thing, and then this. So, like, what I'm saying is he's not like this super established director that we can pull from his filmography of directed work that we can know what to look for, personally.
Is this his first chance at an Oscar, maybe?
I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on this. I don't think Uncut Gems won any Oscars, but so maybe it could be. I mean, it's already won other things.
Yeah, I was going to say, was it nominated? I feel like Adam
might have been.
Sandler went to something.
Possibly.
He got a lot of credits for doing very well in that film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely got talked about a lot. It's hard to know whether it was just talked about or also nominated and, like, given awards for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Either way, that's our directing credit to Josh Safdie. He is a younger guy, like, for sure. He is 41 right now. So, like, not super, super young like the guy that did Sinners.
Yeah.
Who's, like, 38, 39 and also did, like, bloody Wakanda before this. Like, he's crazy. Like, that's crazy accomplishment early. But still good. Like, still pretty young for the directing class. Like, most directors are in their 50s and 60s, I would argue.
How are we feeling about the 9 categories it's in? Now that we've seen it, how are we feeling about it for best film? Now, Rachel's at a bit of a disadvantage because I don't think you've seen any of the other 10.
Look, I made it to Sinners, and I'm really glad we picked that one to watch because I really, really enjoyed that.
How do you feel about this compared to Sinners then?
Oh, I definitely enjoyed Sinners more.
Okay.
I liked this film, but I thought Sinners was a better film.
Me too. I do fear that we are like predisposed to liking Sinners more because we are all, 3 of us, are horror fans.
Very true. Yeah.
So that, even though Sinners is not like super horror forward, it does lean more towards that ilk of enjoyment versus this, which is more like...
Whereas if you prefer family
Biopic?
yelling, this is way more down your line.
I think if you're talking categories, though, the editing would have been better in this one because some of those table tennis scenes were
so high energy.
And even,
So
even all the con scenes as well, like, it was really well cut together.
I agree.
Better than any of the other films we've seen so far, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if this necessarily wins out on things like cinematography or casting
or even the production design, and like it was fine.
Or like costuming, you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know about those physical elements, but I do agree with editing.
Production design, it's up against Frankenstein.
Sure.
Which I keep calling Dracula.
Yes.
And that was fantastic.
Yes.
In both senses of the word. It was really wonderful.
Probably the main part that it excelled in.
Right. So I think if Frankenstein does nothing else, it's going to take production design away from Marty Supreme.
Sure. It is interesting, though, because I think this being my first year that I'm kind of at any way invested in the Oscars, and I say invested loosely, obviously I don't have literal investment in it, but having actually watched a few of the films now, I'm like, I wonder... Because often in the Oscars, films do the sweep, right? Like they will like capture a bunch of categories. And previously I haven't really thought about it. I'm like, yeah, sure, it's a good film. Sure, it wins a lot of categories. That makes sense. But now that I'm really thinking about the individual categories and what they mean, like production design, costume design, editing, etc., honestly, they should kind of be split between a few of them. Like,
Well, maybe
none
this
of them.
is a good year, right?
That's true. It might be a particularly exceptional year. Maybe that's a concession I can make. But so far, having watched now 4 of the 10 nominated Best Picture films, they definitely, none of them should sweep those like categories, because those categories do deserve to be split between at least those 4, if not more than those 4.
Yeah.
And that's just that's a layman's perspective, obviously, but
I mean, you haven't been sliding $10,000 bouquets and,
correct
baskets to people to try and sway the vote.
No, I haven't been sliding Ozempic to any directors, but
Well, it's definitely it sounds terrible, but I'm like, when they do a sweep, it's so boring.
Yeah.
for sure.
I'd much rather when you're not entirely sure who's going to win which category. It makes it much more interesting as a viewer.
For sure.
And I think, to be honest, there are some films who do sweeps that don't deserve the sweep.
For sure.
Like, they deserve some of the wins, but not all of them. It's a little...
I will be upset if Everything Everywhere. No, that's not what it's called. All the explosions at once. Fuck,
Every
what's it
one battle after another.
called? I've got you doing it now.
You've got me doing it now. You're a toxic entity. That's what you are. No.
I will be upset if one battle after another takes a sweep. I think 2 or 3 awards is plenty for it. You can sit in the corner and enjoy them.
Right.
But
Well, because here's the thing, right? Sinners got 16 nominations. This got 9.
Yeah.
If they both got 4 each, I'd feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not even half of each of their nominations.
No.
So it's like, that should be fine. And then spread, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It will be interesting. It makes me realize, perhaps, with the whole like boring sweep situation, that it might be. It really highlights the political nature of these award ceremonies and how. It's so subjective, though. It really is.
We've still got 5 or 6 films to watch that are in the top 10.
6, I think.
Oh, goodness, the editor is just having a heart palpitation.
Screaming at us in a separate room,
So what we could find is that we get to Train Dreams and go like, oh, cancel it all. Train Dreams should have sweeped. It should have been
Train
nominated.
Dreams should win everything. Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know yet.
You
No,
don't
I know
know
it's
yet.
true.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true. Who knows? I don't know. But all I know is that going back to just Marty Supreme specifically and talking less about the
Oscars.
award season as a whole, I thought it was a really good film. I enjoyed it. It did feel a little long, but I think that they kept the energy up relatively well. Like it felt like I was like on the edge of my seat for most of it, which helps make it not feel too long, generally speaking.
You never quite knew where it was going.
No.
Yeah, you can say that again.
I mean, I was convinced Rachel was not going to make it to the end of the movie, and hey, she did. In fact, I think I said it 3 times.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was very much like a bit of a surprise down around every corner. And I now need to read up on this tennis player that apparently it was loosely based on.
Yeah. Oh,
That's a fascinating story. They did a good job of basing it in the 1950s. My only complaint was that occasionally, and this is maybe just my naivety, occasionally the dialogue, I was like, is this really 1950s dialogue?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, or is it just they're just...
Because sometimes I'm like, well, I wasn't around.
No.
Spoiler alert, I wasn't alive in the 50s, so I don't know what is believable dialogue.
No.
But the visuals were fine, but then I was occasionally like, this dialogue doesn't really feel super period. But
I wasn't taken out of it too much.
no, sorry. It wasn't dramatic. It was a slight feeling of like, a person in their 40s wrote this and they weren't alive then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was that feeling of like,
Yeah.
It was fine. They got away with it for the most part, I would argue. Yeah.
Yeah, I was still waiting for the orange table tennis balls to come back into it.
I know.
It felt like such a wasted
little
bit of the storyline.
Absolutely.
I'm so upset.
Yeah.
It was never realized.
especially because at the end they were fighting in white shirts with a white ball. I'm like, oh, here we go. It's gonna
I'm like,
happen.
we're finally getting the orange table tennis ball.
Perfect moment.
In fact, it's losing points just because of that.
No.
To be honest, yeah. So we get to this point now. We have to rate it out of 10.
All right, Beck, why don't you go first? We'll let our guest go last.
Okay. My rating for Marty Supreme is 8.1 dog collars out of 10.
I was going to rate it 7.7 paddles to the butt out of 10.
Yeah. Good rating. Good rating.
Okay, so I was going with 7.9 table tennis tantrums.
Nice.
yes.
Oh, I like the alliteration. Table tennis tantrums. Very good.
That was so upsetting.
Honestly, we kind of come out in the wash there with the
Yeah.
7.7 to an 8.1 with a 7.9 in the middle. That's roundabout, you know.
Yeah. you could have rated higher if they'd used the orange tennis balls, if they'd been slightly less familial yelling,
Sure.
Personally, just on my enjoyment alone.
It felt, too realistic for me with the familial drama, you know what I mean? Like, I liked it. I thought it was good. I still don't know how I feel about the acting in terms of, like, compared to... Because the only acting nom we have in this is Timothée Chalamet. We don't have a best actress. We don't have a supporting actor. We don't have a supporting actress. So, like, Timothée Chalamet is the acting nom in this, which somewhat makes me feel like he might get it just purely on he's the only one from the film. So they're like, you know what I mean? Like,
his acting was really good.
It was.
He is very good in this film.
And the makeup was really good. Was they nominated for makeup?
No.
Wow.
They were only nominated for costuming, not makeup and hair.
So that's really interesting because part of what made Timothée's acting so good was that you could really forget it was him, partially because of the makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
it gave
horrid
him
mustache.
believability, yeah, for sure. But no, he wasn't nominated, or they weren't nominated, rather, for makeup and hair.
Well, in the interest of keeping this episode not too long, because we had a long intro,
Yep.
is there anything else you want to talk about? A favourite scene?
I did enjoy Rockwell calling out Marty and being like, get in the car, and then promptly driving off. There was something very satisfying about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I particularly enjoyed the scene where he and the taxi driver are doing the scam. It's like the slow procedural, like they eventually fight each other, but they're trying to work their way up to like trying to trick everyone. I mean, like, it was very tense, but it was a good scam. Slick and believable of like how these people try, because they're just trying to earn money, right? For him to go to the final. Like, it's underhanded, but you can see the motivation behind it. Like, they're highlighting these people's like gambling tendencies against them.
Yeah.
It's not great, but yeah.
It was a small scene, but I really liked the one where Marty goes to the actress, played by Gwyneth Paltrow. I can't remember her name. Kay, I think it is. So after he's stolen the necklace and found out it's fake, he goes back to her and is like, oh, it has some bullshit story. And she's like, I see your bullshit story.
Yeah.
But honestly, we're cool.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I was like, I thought Kay was a really interesting and really good character. And Gwyneth Paltrow did a really good job.
She did.
She's fantastic.
I'm really surprised that, I guess, I don't know. There's only so many noms to go around, right?
Sure. She had a pretty minimal screen time, if we're going to be honest, for a supporting actress. If we're thinking about the other supporting actresses we've seen so far,
That's true.
she has the least amount of screen time, so it kind of makes sense that she didn't get a nom. Just purely on screen time alone.
Yeah, she did a good job. And you said during the film as well, she had a good face for like a 1930s style. It was really good.
So.
I was going to say, interesting about that point about the screen time is, of course, Anthony Hopkins winning the Oscar for Silence of the Lambs, and he's only in it for like 20 minutes.
Right. It can happen.
It can happen. You've got to have a massive... Look, you couldn't have that film, though, without him.
No.
And I'm like, Gwyneth Paltrow is great in this film, but at
She
the end of the
is.
day, you could have somebody else do that role.
You could.
You
It's
could.
interesting, though, because like, so we just watched Frankenstein with Mia Goth, who plays the kind of the only female character in the film, basically. And she has been nominated for Best Supporting Actress. And honestly, I think Gwyneth Paltrow
It's not
should
that
have been nominated over her. Not that Mia Goth did a bad job. The character
role.
itself, the role didn't hold as much kind of influence and presence within the film as Gwyneth Paltrow's character did.
Yeah.
So we can't hold
that's,
this against
you know.
Rachel because we haven't actually edited, as of this moment, we haven't edited and released that episode. So you can't know our deeper thoughts on the matter.
That's true. I still think it's Odessa, isn't it? Yeah.
Correct.
She was
Yes.
she was
She
so
was
good
really
in
good
this.
as well.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they were too torn of who to nominate, so they were like neither of them. I don't know.
Well, it could actually be that, right? Because they, the producer or whatever, they say who is lead and who is supporting.
They put forward the nominations to
Yeah, true, yeah.
So they
And
have
so maybe
to
the
decide.
Academy just didn't like it.
Maybe.
It got divided too much.
Right. Yeah, they nominated them both and they were split so much that neither of them ended up in the finale.
Whereas Mia Goth was the only
She was
person.
basically
Was she the only woman in the whole film? Right?
practically. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there you go.
Doesn't pass the Bechdel test.
No,
No.
not at all. Anyway, but yeah, no. Honestly, liked the film, would recommend it, think it was an interesting little like faux biopic, if you will. You know what I
want
mean?
to
It
be stressed
felt
out
like.
for 2.5 to 3 hours? This is a film to go watch.
Oh, yeah, my palms are still a bit sweaty from some of those table tennis
Yeah,
games.
yeah. Either way, we are 4 films in, 6 films to go in the Best Picture category for the Oscars 2026.
Our house is mostly boxes.
Let us know your thoughts on Marty Supreme if you've seen it. If not, would recommend, and let us know what you think over on Instagram, Facebook, or wherever you find us. And until next time, bye-bye.
Till next time.
Bye.
This episode of the Better Late Than Never Club is brought to you by our patrons: Alex, Christopher, Lindy, Matthew, Nathan, and Rachel.
And also our members, Aimless, Andrew, Elizabeth, Raina, Salty Pond, and Simon.
Thank you for listening.